What's up, y'all? How you doing? Happy Monday. I'm kind of tired today. A little worn out. Shouldn't be, since I slept so much over the weekend. But I am tired. But I already had it set up to do some stuff y'all wanted to see. Um, to do some EDF balancing for all you people. So I want to try to set up my streams to be more about what you guys want to see instead of stuff that I just want to see. So that's what I'm gonna do from now on. So this is the first week of doing what you guys said you wanted to see. So I'm gonna do that. But what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Let me go through and talk to all the people that showed up to say howdy to me. While Bill was number one in the room, Big Chris was next. Jack 78 was on there too. Mr. Slap Nuts was there. Um, Lionel Randall, who is a member. Thank you very much. Don't forget about the memberships and other stuff on there too, guys. I've got that. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff. Um, let's see who else. Lionel Randall, JS, RC Hobbies. What's up? Wild Bill. I think I already said you. Tim Justins, Andy Cho, Jeff Roberts, JCB67, Michael Sarank. I hope I said your name right. Garfield Houston, what's up? Um, RC Glory, what is happening? Hunter Yoakum, what is happening? So yeah, guys, I have the EDF balancing set up. I was going to balance this new fan that I just got, which is the it's new, but it's used but new to me. The Fred Barron, what's happening? It's used, but it's new to me. I got the Freewing 1857 kV 80 millimeter 12 blade inrunner. And when I got it, the blades are a little chewed up. So I was going to switch out the rotor. Hope I'm not frozen, guys. Let me know if everything's working okay. The camera's all is working. Um, I had to unplug it to make sure it didn't get frozen. But I was planning to change out the rotor and then balance. Well, Freewing, being as weird as they are, have it set up to where the rotors are different. So the 12 blade rotor has a slightly different size center bore than the others. So I'm going to have to order a separate rotor because the other one's just too nicked up. So, but I do have plenty of fans here to balance. So I have a 12 blade, 12 blade, one of the older Outrunners. I think it's like the Avanti Outrunner or the L39 Outrunner that I'm going to balance. Purposely took the rotor off and moved it around so that it's not balanced at all. But I will get it balanced for you guys on the screen, and it will get to that in a little bit. So in the meantime, if you haven't looked at my website, that is my website. Keep in touch with what's going on because I've got a lot of new things coming up. I've been quiet, but I'm still working on stuff in the background. I've got some stuff coming up for you Warbird guys. And I've got some stuff coming for 64 millimeter jets as well. But it's not quite the way you're thinking. But I've got some 64 millimeter jets coming up. Also, check out the merch if you haven't seen it already. I just got a new sweatshirt for myself. But you guys can get that stuff here if you'd like to. It's also in the description. If you want to support what I do here, Nate's on here with me sometimes too. Most of the time, actually. If you want to support what we do here and keep us going, doing the stuff that we do, which is mostly informing the community about the stuff that we know and understand and can explain to y'all. If you want us to have better cameras and other stuff like that, support the channel through either memberships or there's a PayPal link showing down there at the bottom. I just got Venmo as well. So that's another thing for you guys that are interested in buying burners. We have finally updated to Venmo, so I can do Venmo that way. So yeah, but lots of cool stuff coming. Keep on top of the channel. I'm going to start posting more stuff. I haven't hardly posted any videos because I've just been too busy. I've got a whole bunch of videos backed up from hat cam stuff. Kind of reluctant to post it just because I know the sound won't be that good, but I'm going to do it eventually. Want to get stuff back up to the way it used to be, but I might end up getting a different hat cam because I don't like the sound on the new run cam. I do like the older run cam all around. Hat cams aren't the best, but if hat cam's what you got, that's what you go with. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. But so let's do the usual. So don't forget, guys, if you want to support the channel, check out the description. You can find out how to become a member, or you can also check out how to get merch. Got some cool stuff. Not many people have gotten it, but that's cool. You know, maybe it's just not the time of year. What's up, Randy? So let's get to, you know, I haven't given Randy Huffins enough of a shout out lately. It's good to see you back, but that dude helped a lot in helping getting me over 1,000 subscribers. So big shout out to Mr. Randy Huffins. There's a few of you that really helped. He helped a lot, so I got to make sure to give him credit for that. So very much appreciated for that. But let's do the usual and start with questions, and we're going to get started on the balancing. Hopefully that won't take too long. But we're going to do it from off the cuff, so you guys will get to see exactly how it goes from start to finish. So y'all got questions? Now is the time to ask them. So Jeff Roberts, I don't think I've seen you on here. Sienna Williamson. Oh, wow. Now we already got the porn stuff going. Woohoo, wonderful. So Jeff, Airvex, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Jeff Roberts, with all the people that come on my channel and interact with me, I make them moderators. And that's what I just did for you, my friend. Thank you for coming. And if you guys got questions, now is the time. Give you a little bit of time for questions, and then we're going to move into the balancing. It's going to take me a little bit to set the camera up because I'm going to use my phone, but I have it set up, so it's just a matter of getting over there and connected it and going. So, that's right, Jeff. That's right. You are the guy who got me to Venmo, so thank you, and thanks for coming on to the channel. Yeah, so guys, I finally moved up into the 21st century a little bit with Venmo. I've had a PayPal account forever, and just Jeff got me to move into the Venmo, and he was my first Venmo customer. So yeah, the bots. Well, don't want to get started on all that crap, but get rid of Sienna. She's gone, whoever she is. But guys, go ahead. Questions. Now's the time. If you got questions, ask away. Because I'd like to help out with some stuff a little bit before I get started. So Michael Serenk, he said he's dad pulling the trigger on a Skymaster turbine F4. He's going to install these P166 turbines he bought. Going for VF 161 colors. Very cool. Very, very cool. So, guys, ask away questions. Ask some questions. And then if you only got none, then we're just going to move on. And if not, then I will just get on over to balancing this fan. Aha, Tim Justin's, he got it started off. Okay, so here's a question. You will see that. So yes, do you use an ESC and a servo tester to balance EDF units? Yes, I do. Depending on the situation, if I'm at the field, and I do balance fans at the field. Paul McNeil, good question. I'll get to that. I will use what's in the plane, and I'll use a stand. And I think I have a couple. I should have put that in my description. But for the most part, I'll use if it's out of the plane, I use a servo tester. But if it's in the plane, I use everything. I use what's there. I just pull the fan out, set it up on outside of the plane. I've done a couple of those, but I prefer to do it at a table. That's the proper way. But again, I'll show you all that here in a few minutes. You're very welcome, Fred Barron. That's what I used if I don't have Nate to help me with the forward programming. I usually go back to that and just use that as a reference. So I'm glad it helped. And no, it did not, Paul McNeil. The one that I'd see all the time was its smaller, its younger brother, the AN124. I was seeing that basically. The first one I saw was in 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. But I've seen them come in for years now, several times directly over my house. Before we moved to this place, I saw it come in over the Target that's not too far by, and then when I got really close to the base, which is right by where the post office used to be. But AN124, its younger brother. Thankfully, I think there are still some of those left, but the AN225, there were only two that had been flying. One was damaged, and then there was one still airworthy, but it just got destroyed in this whole craziness going on over in the Ukraine. So yeah, that's gone. And then I see all, like this weekend, we got a C-17 come over. We had F-5s going over all the time. Well, that's going to continue to happen because they're training the new F-35 squadron. It's out of Lemoore. But okay, so Jeff Roberts got a good one. How does a stock FMS V2 stack up against the other? Okay, so the V2 is actually really good. It's a 1900 kV inrunner. It's a little bit bigger than the older 28 millimeter. It's a 30 millimeter. And the fan, the rotor has less pitch. So you're able to get more RPMs and more low end. Actually, all thrust all throughout the whole. Everything about it was redone. So it's actually pretty good. I've flown it in a couple planes. If you just want a good direct drop in that's going to be a good bump in performance, the V2 is really good. Now there's a fan. Maybe I should do one of those on a live here too. But if you want the ultimate, what I've done in my my little 70 millimeter F-18 is a combination. So the original fan housing from the V1, if you ever notice, the motor's a little bit smaller than the actual opening. So I didn't realize it at first, but you can put that 30 millimeter motor into that old housing and with that old rotor, and that actually works really good. So I was able to get my 70 millimeter F-18 up over 130 miles an hour with that setup and still get the same, roughly the same. I didn't actually put it on a watt meter, but if I fly like a nut now, so I end up using more battery. But if I fly the way that I used to, I still get the same time on the 4000. So if you want a simple drop in, the V2 is perfect. If you want to do a little bit more tinkering and get a little bit more top end speed, put the 1900 kV motor in the older V1 housing. That'll give you the best of both. All right, Daryl Penson. That's a good one. I was wondering how to set up reverse thrust on the DX8 Gen 2 for my Viper. I don't know how to do that. You may want to check with RC Air Marshal and see if, or I don't know if anybody's done that. The DX8's not one that I'm familiar with. Although I think it's not much different than DX9. Shouldn't be that hard to do. But check on RC Air Marshal's channel and see. Just follow the forward programming stuff there and see if you can do it on there. I think you can do it with the new upgraded DX8. Not totally sure. All right, so let's see what else is going on here. Very welcome, Jeff. Richard Webb, what's up? Paul McNeil, to go back to the AN225, yes, It did come to my area, but it was at an airport that's about a little under an hour away from me. Was it OAK, which is the Oakland Airport? That's the only airport that it could actually fit at that had taxiways big enough for it. None of the airports here, it wouldn't work on any of the airports. It wouldn't work at SFO or Moffett. So they had to go to OAK. So let's see here. So keep coming with the questions if you guys got any more. If not, then I will go get the camera set up for the fan balance. I'm gonna have to use a slightly different I have to use my headphones, my Bluetooth headphones. So my sound will be a little different, and I'll probably have to ask you guys if you can hear me. But that's what I'm gonna do. So anyway, let's see. So all right. So not seeing a whole bunch of questions. Because now only issue is when I switch over to my. Now I can use my tablet. Never mind. So that's a good one, Jeff. Too. For the most part, it depends on the manufacturer. FMS takes the time to make sure that their fans are balanced. I'd say 99% of the fans that I've gotten from FMS, 99.9 of the fans that I've gotten from FMS have been balanced. One or two took a little bit of tweaking, but for the most part, FMS has been perfect. Freewing has taken the time now to balance their fans. I'd say probably 80% of their fans have been balanced. Most of the balancing that I've had to do has been Freewings, because they're usually not balanced out the box. They didn't used to be anyway. They have gotten better about it, but yeah, for the most part, all the new stuff is balanced. Like the fan that I got from E-Flight and the Viper Jet, it seemed like it was out of balance, but it wasn't. It was just loose. The mount was loose. So once I tightened the mount down, it got quiet. But anyway, thanks for the questions, guys. Good stuff. So if the questions are done, I think it's time to go set up the other stuff. So I will be right back. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to have to turn on my other tablet here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, we'll have to do something. But let us see what's happening here. So guys, let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can, but let me know. Because I have to wear my Bluetooth headphones. Okay, cool. So it may not be as loud as it normally is, but it's going to have to work. So there's the hands. You can see that I'm here. I'm going to try to... Okay, so let me show you. This is what I had originally wanted to do. So see this fan here? This one is. And unfortunately, it's got nicks and chips on the fan blades. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. So I think we're going to change it out. So I tried to change it, but unfortunately the center bore is different on this than it is on this. So this was what I was going to. This is brand new, but it's unfortunately not going to work for that. So since I have a whole bunch of fans, I had an older, let's see what the kV is on this. This is an 1850 kV outrunner from an L39 or an A4, either one of those. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just grab something that's there, something I know I haven't touched. I haven't tried to balance it all. Let me try that and see what happens. So the one thing that I didn't get was a little piece of paper towel. So I'm going to do that right now. But the way that I do it's pretty simple. It's effective, but it's fairly simple. Some people say it's too simple. Some people say it's too easy. I don't care. That's the way I work. I want things to be easy. They don't have to be complicated. Some people like to think that having things complicated is the best way, but I don't want to deal with it that way. So, these are the things that you need to do this. Obviously, you need a unit. That's what this is right here. You need to have a way to spin that, which is, I'm using an old heads-up RC 100 amp ESC, and you use a servo tester. So this is a opto ESC. So I have a UVEC connected to it, which powers this, and then I can check the balance that way. The cool thing about it is that it doesn't require you going up to more than about a quarter throttle to see if a fan is balanced. It really doesn't take that much at all. If you go above that, it gets kind of dangerous. So let me put that caveat in there to begin with, so that you guys know. It's best to have safety glasses and to wear gloves. This is a metal housing, so I'm not too scared about it, but this is a plastic housing. You especially want to make sure to use some sort of glove to protect your hand, and for sure have glasses on. We're going to be running this up at low RPMs with tape on the outside here, so we want to make sure that if that stuff does fly off, it doesn't hit you in the eye. But that's what we do here, just to be safe. I've done this a lot of times. Another thing you always want to remember, keep it free of stuff in front of it. So don't run it up with like your pen right here, or with that right there. You'd be amazed at how strong these things are. So make an open space. Once you see me fire this stuff up, I'm going to move things out of the way when I do it. I might pull this up just a little bit. There we go. But yeah, only thing you're going to see blood-wise is the tape. Hopefully, that's the only thing we're going to see. There hopefully won't be any amputations. Somebody put something funny up on my post earlier that I blasted out on the groups about it. But anyway, so then that's it. There's the servo tester. There's this. You're going to need something to remove the spinner. The way that I do this is with the spinner. So then that, well, actually that's not the big one. But the smaller one to remove the spinner. I'll go through the whole thing. Battery, obviously. And then marker. I'll show you how. I'm going to go through all this and show you how I do it. Scissors. High quality electrical tape. This is 3M. Scotch. This is the good stuff. You don't want cheap when it comes to the tape, because the cheap tape will not work. It sticks. So, don't need a mask. But do need alcohol and paper towel. So let's get that going. So number one, let's start with to get our baseline. So as I said, make sure everything's cleared out of the way. Now this is originally balanced from the factory with a different rotor. So I'm going to remove all the markings they've made. This is 90% alcohol too, by the way. So I'm going to remove all the marks that they put down. Here, or just ignore it. It's not coming off. Oh, if I can't find it again, I got rid of it. Okay. So there's that one. There's one right there. As you can see, it came off. All right. So get rid of those marks. And then we're going to establish our baseline so we can get started. But then another thing we need to do, this is just the way that I do it. It's not the only way, but this is the Gooniac simple way. From what I found in all the, I don't know how many I've done of these now, too many to count. Best thing to do, easiest way to do this is to make equal bits at different intervals. So here's what I start with. Use various combinations of this throughout, but this is the way it's going to start. Usually start with about 6 of these doubled up like that. That's just what I start with. It doesn't mean that's what we're actually going to use, but that's what I start with. And then I'll do a couple that are just singles by themselves. Try to get them straight. That's not totally straight. Good enough for what we're going to do. You know what? I'll make these singles just because they're off. I don't like these scissors. I'm switching. So yeah, so let's there we go. Closer. Well, I'm just going to do 3 for now. I need to do more. No, of course, nothing's working as I want it to, because I'm on camera. It's just the way it is. So those will be the singles by themselves. And then these are, it's just not working. Can't be doing this. Normally they stick to the scissors like that instead of falling off. But. All right, so I think that's enough for now. 3 doubled, and then 4 singles. So let me check the chat real quick, see if anybody's saying anything. Nobody's saying much. There's 23 people here. Thank you guys. It would be great if I saw 23 likes right now. I appreciate it if y'all did that for me. Not very much of a YouTube channel at this point, but it's still nice to get that algorithm to work the way that I want it to get more stuff done for y'all. Sorry if the noises are weird, but I'm trying to clear a space here for when I run it up. So, most important thing to remember, point that thing away from you. Make sure the thing is off, and again, use the proper safety equipment. Glasses and gloves. So let's establish the baseline. So let's figure out where it works best. Sometimes you have to use weight, sometimes you don't. So as it is right now, we're running up really slow. And this is an outrunner, so you're going to hear some extra noise just from the motor itself. But one of the things you do, to, if you can't feel vibration, you can hear it. So I'll put it on the table. You hear how the table's making noise? That's vibration. You shouldn't hear anything unless it's balanced. So we know that this is out of balance. So we're going to get the Sharpie and make one line, simple line, on the, just choosing a blade right now, nothing fancy, and then I'm making a reference point. All right, so with 12 blades, that gives you an easy way to mark where you're going to be moving the spinner. So you can move it anywhere in between one blade, or if you just want it to be simple, you can move it 12 different positions around here. So what I'm going to do is just move it around with the spinner to start, and see if there's a spot where it sounds the best. So we're going to loosen the spinner. That's another thing about these fans. I'll have to show you with the other rotor, but notice I just moved it from this blade to that one. Okay, so this is your reference. That's where you start, and then this is where what you're using to reference where you go from each blade. Okay, tighten it back down. But let me show you the blades. So this blade, they're keyed, so they'll fit on the outrunners. They have a shaft that has a key on it like this. That way it locks in place. But then the spinner is what actually holds it in place. That's all that's holding it. There's no other nut or anything. It's just that spinner is holding the whole thing in place. So it's really important to get this tight. And once you finish with the whole balancing process, you should Loctite everything in place to make sure it stays there. But that's really important because this spinner is all that's holding that rotor on. So you want to make sure that you put that extra effort into making sure things are secure. So anyway, there's a reference point. That's where we started. There was buzzing, so I moved it over 1. Let's see what it sounds like now. Again, make sure there's nothing in front. Make sure it's clear. You're buzzing. So this is a little bit, it takes a little bit of patience. A lot of times you won't even need to add weight. It'll just be spinner. And don't get tempted to jump around. Stick to where you start. So let's just go. I'm on blade number 2 right now. Okay, so don't bounce around like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Let's just move. No, stick to all the blades. Just to be safe. Still buzzy. Moving over. Okay. Still buzzy. Might be a little bit less, but still buzzy. Now, here's a funny thing too. Once you get this thing right, it makes a different sound. So it's not going to sound the same as it did before. It'll make pretty much all you hear is a little bit of motor noise because this is an outrunner, and a whoosh. That's it. Well, it's starting to get better, but still need to move. So right now we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4 over. Headed over to number 5. All right, so let me take a look and see who's here. GB, I see you. Thanks for coming in, GB. Scotty Story, what's up? Snow Valley, I think I said something to you. All you guys that are here, thank you for being here, guys. And again, I hope we figure out. Okay, so. Scotty, which ESCs are they? I see your question. Which ESCs? So I just moved over. So, yep, round 5. I'll try to get back to you. Yep, it's getting better. Starting to sound better. Still buzzy, but it's sounding better. Oh, yeah. It's getting a lot better. Okay. Another thing you can do once you notice that they're starting to get better, you can make marks, just a little small mark. If it's a real noticeable change, make a small mark on one of the blades. Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. And what do you know? It's almost 180 degrees from where we started. Oops, sorry. Almost 180 degrees from where we started. So let's keep going. It's getting better. Sometimes it ends up being that one blade right next to where you started. So Elijah Jackson, what's up? So, yeah. Starting to sound a lot better. Okay, so I found that it was those last 3 blades that were good. So I'm going to make marks, a little simple mark on all of those 3, just so I can remember, and then I can try between those a little bit later. How far? We're almost all the way back around. It's starting to get a little worse, so I think we're going to go back to those 3 eventually. Not yet. We've got 2 more blades to go, and then we'll see which works. Yeah, it's getting worse. So we've got 1 more blade to go, but we already know, see, I made those 3 reference spots. So we can go back to those and then choose the best out of those 3. Yeah, it's getting worse. Okay, so let's get back here where we can see. This is where we started. This is where we ended up. And then these three in here were the best with no weight. So let's go back to those. Start on that last one. Yeah, see. It's a little buzzy. A lot of people just leave that, but I'm actually going to go back a little bit. I had 3 marks, so I want to see out of those 3, which I think is the best. So. That sounds pretty good. Let's try that one more. Again, guys, this is not the only way to do it, but this is the way that I do it. Yeah. Okay, so that second, so this is the one we're going to stick to, all right? And this is where we'll start adding weight. So this is the best spot. Actually, you know what? Let me try halfway between those two, and let's see. Okay. Oops. See? Good thing I did, because that was almost perfect. Okay, so let's try halfway between the other way. Nope. I already feel the buzz. So let's go back. To halfway here. Do that. That might be it. Okay. That's not bad. But let's try it half on the other side. Over here. This is between the 3 spots that I felt were the best. Okay, so no. So the best one is halfway, about right here. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's the best spot for what we're doing. So since I had such kind of an odd combo here, what I would like to do is just start over completely as far as where the markings are, because that was just an original a baseline to get started for the marking. So I can actually go through and just choose a blade. But what I'm going to do is choose this blade right here. That's the blade we're going to go off of right here. I'm going to leave the spinner in its original spot. I'm not going to move it, but I am going to clear this off and then make a line right there. Okay. Some alcohol. Notice this is unplugged too. Don't want that thing plugged in when you're doing this. Just get the original mark. Get that mark out of there. This mark out of there, because that was where our baseline where we started. Get that out of there. Get those two. Okay, so this is our main blade. We know that's the blade we're going to go off of, so let's mark that one up pretty good. And this is the reference point. So basically what's going to happen is, only thing we're doing from here is adding weight to the exterior of the cone until we get to be perfectly balanced. Once we do that, I'll make a mark on the outside, pull this cone off, put the weight on the inside of the cone. Okay? So let's do that. This is marked, as you can see. There we go. That fan blade, that's pronounced pretty good, so you know that that's, you just need to line up again when you pull it apart. Okay, so again, these are the weights that I use. From what in my experience doing this, the doubled up weights work good, and then singles work. Try to get them uniform. I didn't quite get them uniform because of the scissors that I was using, but I like to make them like 1/4-inch squares. Let's take a look here. Elijah Jackson. Thanks for being here, Elijah. I'm making you a moderator. And take a look. So Scotty Story, do you have the UVE, is the UVEC connected to your receiver? Is everything else powering up? And feel free to we can deal with this after too if it's I can help you in a separate email or something else if you want. If it might be easier to do it that way later. Do you have your throttle kill on, or is your throttle kill off? And also make sure that it's plugged in, the polarity is right. Okay, so Scotty Story, I'll get back to you, and don't forget, if you want to email me this, or we can do this through chat. We can do that too. Okay, so let's this is where everything lines up, and that's where it's the best it's going to get without having any external weight. So let's start with a little bit of weight. Okay, just going to use one of the doubles, one of the twos. Okay, usually that's all it takes. Let's just, for the hell of it, start on the line. And again, this is, I don't know if I've even said this today, but once you end up finding out a spot that works, that sounds good, move it into several different positions along that line to see if you can get it to sound better or worse. A lot of times just moving it somewhere in between here will actually make a big difference in the way it sounds. A lot of times that's all it takes. Sometimes it just takes one, sometimes it takes several. So let's see what we get today. This is mostly in balance. Just a little bit of buzz. So I think this is probably going to be a good one. Just, it didn't sound too bad, even though it was in that one spot. So let's move over. Again, this is like a clock. There's 12 different positions. If you want to break it up even more, you can go in between. So that could be 24 different positions, as well as all the different area in there. So I just moved over one. Buzzy. Not even going to waste time there because it's pretty buzzy. Move it over another. Oh, let's do that. So here you can hear it. I'm not going to speed. I want you guys to hear the noise. Okay. That's buzz. You can feel that too. But if you have a hard time feeling it, use the table. Okay? Still buzzy. Still buzzy. Still buzzy. Keep on moving. It sounds a little better. So we could be moving. See, we're almost at 180 degrees now. So from what I've noticed, it's usually in here is where you start noticing a difference. So let's try it again. Yep. We're getting there. So it's starting to sound better. Let me move it forward. Oh yeah, a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to go back one in that same position here in the front. Okay, nope. So we're getting there. So this one here started sounding better. So let's go middle on the other one. It's sounding better. Let's move it forward. Ooh. Okay, so you notice that? Pretty big change. So let's go back to this one here. It's the same line, just further up. Okay, so I heard a big change. So that right here sounded really good. All right, so you can hear the difference. We go over one more because if it's ooh, that actually sounds better. Okay. Let's move it up. Yeah. Significantly better. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but you can hear more of a whoosh. Okay, so let's go down to here. That sounds really good. So it's a start. Just going to alternate between those two spots. Okay, so I'm going to add one more piece. Too much. All right, so I need to go back one. Oh, it's too much. So might even be that I'm going to use one in that spot. Let's try one. Nope. Okay, so I jumped around a little bit. Let's go back. Yeah. So it does want two. And we're going to have to put two back. Okay, so two right. That's three. Two back right here. Okay, so I didn't quite make it all the way around, so I'll probably still want to do alright, so where did we start? I think we might have moved up a little bit. So I should have marked the spot, but we're gonna go around again. Find the right one. Got a little too happy. Look at it right. Gotta go the whole way around. Sometimes you can't just can't skip. It's best to stick to your. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it's better to stick to your guns. Sorry for bumping the camera. And stick with the way you're doing it. So move it forward. That's damn near perfect right there. So let's make a mark here for that blade. And let's move along that line. That's pretty good. All right, so it sounded the best with it here. All right. So I made a mark there to remember to come back to that spot. All right. Sounds pretty good. So we're not quite all the way around, almost there. So I got to go a couple more. See? And this is why you stick to your guns, because I moved over one more and it's pretty much perfect. Yeah. So I moved over one more and I put it right here in the front. And listen. Hear that? No difference between the way it sounds off the table and on the table. That's a sign of being balanced right there. So, yeah, if you don't stick to the way that you're going, you can end up messing up altogether. So these two sounded the best. Not quite done yet. I still got two more to go. So I'm going to do that over one more. Still a little noisy. Let's go over another. Still a little buzzy. And now we're at the beginning again. So let's go back to this, which is where it sounded the best. Right there. Yeah, that's it. So this is what we do. We might only use this one, but I always mark it one. And I mark it a square on the outside. Okay, so I marked it one. I'm going to plug this since I'm fiddling with it. Set that aside. Mark this as one. Okay. So this is the most important part. We've made the most important. Let's just go through and reinforce those just to be safe. This is the main reference point. That's the blade. Already lined that up there. So let's pull the rotor off. Not the whole rotor, just the spinner. Now with this spinner, so this is what I was telling you. See how this is the only thing that's holding it on, is the spinner. So this spinner actually has a spacer in there as well. So I'm going to make sure not to pull that all the way out. But I'm going to put my finger in its place. Okay, good. Then I'm going to clean it on the inside so that the tape will stick. So I'm going to line it up with that mark. So just to make sure there's nothing in there that's going to cause the tape not to stick. Okay, so then we'll take, see how there's number one there? I'm going to take that number one and line it up with the one underneath. Okay, so there's one right there. Take that. Make sure they're lined up. Oops. Back clumsy hands. Move it over. Line it up. And put it in place. Now the thing to remember, this is centrifugal force is going to hold this in place, but you do want to make sure it's tacked. So that there, line it back up with that. Screw it in place. Gluten tight, not crazy tight. If you've got Loctite, that'll hold it. Okay, so this is another step. For the most part, it's probably balanced, but let's just check to be sure. So we're going to plug it in. Okay. Yep. It's a little bit buzzy. So let's do some. Oh yeah, that's why, because it's a little bit off. Loosen that. Move it back a tad. Tighten it. Make sure that's out of the way. That's all. Okay. So if you hear a little bit of a buzz, sometimes you got to move stuff around just a little bit to get it right. Okay. There you go. So there you can see a little, very small, fine buzz. So I'm going to move it over a smidge, a little bit. There you go. Let's see if that fixes it. That's why you use those lines as references. Nope. Go back. There you go. That's it. Yep. So you want it to where there's no difference between bringing your hand on the table. Right now there's not. Well, there you have it. As a guy on TikTok always does. There you go. It's done. So that's it. Takes a little bit of time to figure out, but it's not that hard to do. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I've done this a lot, so it's just gotten easier and easier as I do it. There are a couple other different types of fans where you have to do it slightly differently, but this one was easy. It was only one. Now, if I really wanted to fine tune it, I could probably go around with a lightweight, with one of the lighter weights, and really fine tune it and make it even better. Right now, it's probably 99.9% perfect. I could get it a little bit better, but nobody else is going to care. That's good. So if you don't want that, if you don't want it to buzz and tear your whole plane apart, there you go. Chrissy, that's not a lot of work. That's easy. It's just tedious work. It's not really all that hard. It's just tedious. And as you get better at it, you can go faster. I was going pretty slow. What's up, Noons? I was going fairly slow just so you guys could see, but I've gotten to the place where I could balance a fan at the field, and I can usually have it done within 15 minutes. But if you're going to go step by step to show everybody exactly how it's done, that's what it takes to do it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And the only part that's a little bit cumbersome is getting the tape from the outside to the inside. Make sure to unplug the battery so I don't slice myself up. But always mark. So every spot that you do, mark. The good spots that you notice, mark. So that you always have a reference to go back to one of the most important parts. When you find the blade that sounds the best with no tape, mark it. A lot of times that's all, you don't have to add any weight at all. Sometimes it's just moving the spinner around to get it right. But that's it. So this is an outrunner. The outrunners, you're going to hear a lot more motor noise. So a little bit of noise and vibration from the motor is okay, just because they make noise. But with the inrunners, you can pretty much get those almost buttery smooth, perfect. And yes, Elijah, you're right. The better balance does equal quite a bit less amp draw. I've seen as much as 10 amps drop, and that's throughout the whole range. So even at half throttle, you'll notice that the range, the amp draw has gone down. So yeah, so that's it. Nunes, I don't know why you don't have a wrench. Maybe you haven't been here in a while, but you've got a wrench. So anyway, that's what I do, guys. Hopefully that that helped out. You know what I want to do though? I want to see what this sounds like with the doo-doo blades. So let's do that. Make sure it's tight. It is. Backwards. So brushless motors, if it's not going the way you want, switch any two wires and it will go the way you want it to. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty fuzzy. So I'll just have to order a new. Have to order a new rotor for this one because, like I said, this one's the same rotor, but the difference is the center bore is different than here. So that's that. So that's it. This is the 1857 kV 12 blade. I wanted to try this in one of the. I'm probably going to put it in the L39, and then I'll compare it with the FMS because this is already really good in that plane. But if I put the FMS in there, it'll just make it even a little bit better. So actually, you know what? I've got both of them here. Let me grab it so you can see, because that way you can see the difference in designs. FMS puts a little bit more time into their development. They actually take the time to wind tunnel and do all the aerodynamic study and all that stuff on it. Actually, you know what? Let's run this up. So here's the two. This is Freewing. This is the new FMS 2000 kV 36 millimeter. With the 36 millimeter motor. You can see the difference. So the FMS is a little bit bigger. So, you know, let's run this up. These are balanced. Let's hear what that sounds like. Let us see here. So this is brand new out of the box. I didn't do anything to it. It was shipped to me in the FMS box, and I want to see what it sounds like. Shouldn't need any balancing at all. So there we go. Sounds amazing. But look, it's got a pretty strong motor, cooling fan in there. So this is all metal housing as well. Yeah, listen to that. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect right off the bat. Sounds pretty dang good. Um, so yeah, Nate just recently changed his Freewing T33 to use that fan, and it made a really good difference. I'm going to be changing the XY Sirius fan and putting this in there to see if I notice a difference. That's kind of the cool stuff that's going to be coming up. You know what? I hear a buzz. Just a little buzz. I could fine tune that, but I'm not going to do it today. We've already done enough. Elijah, the 2000 kV uses less amps. It's designed better, so the lip that has a better lip, it's further back in the housing, which cleans up the airflow going in. You can tell by the way it sounds. It's way quieter than the 2100. Uses less amps, moves more air. So this is good. And again, this is straight from the factory. I think I could fine tune it and make it a little bit better. May not be worth the effort, though. I might just leave it as it is. That's pretty good. All right. So that's it, guys. Yeah, so, and that's the difference between, that's as Nate was saying, that's the difference between a 9 blade and a 12 blade. 9 blade will probably be the most efficient at full throttle, but it'll only be like from 3/4 to full that you'll really be able to get much out of it. Anything below that, it's not really going to do much. The 12 blade, it will make thrust from half up, actually even less, but it's going to have hardly any amp draw in between. But you're still going to get move a lot of air at the same time. So, um, so yeah, this thing is going to be getting a lot of testing in the next few weeks, hopefully, in the XY series. So, and yeah, so if there's a little bit of a buzz, that can be gotten out. A lot of people just don't care. For the most part, I don't. But sometimes if I feel like it, I'll go through and I'll take that little extra buzz out. Doesn't take much to do it. But because if there's buzz, that means that there's going to be a little bit of inefficiency at any part of the rev range. So it ain't that big a deal. But anyway, that's it. So let's get back to the regular format. So give me a second. I will get switched back over to my regular spot, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera back here in a minute. The wife just came home, so I'm going to be moving around a little bit. But and I think we'll get Nate in here too. I just sent him the link. Hopefully, he got it. What's up, Victor? So let me catch up on the chat here. Didn't miss much. Yeah, and with that 2100 kV, it helped a lot as opposed to the other stuff. Keith Christie, no, I fly whatever. I have the X-Fly and a couple of my planes, and I like it. I have no issues with them. I have the in my F5, the 80 millimeter 12 blade 2200 kV, and then I have the E-Flight F18 has that. E-Flight F18 was the biggest difference. That plane was totally awesome once I added that X-Flight to it. And thanks for coming, Keith Christie. Good to see you. Well, chat with you, not actually see you. Nate, I sent you the link if you're listening. Let's see. So if you like, if you're good on the throttle and you like the thrust, the X-Fly is not bad to try as long as you're not going to be staying full throttle a lot. If you're more into full throttle, this new FMS will be good. I'll send it to you, but let me send it again just to be safe. Nathaniel Calgal. Okay, send. All right, Nate, I sent it again. You should have it. Izzy's right there, Mama. So. And yeah, so Elijah, you see the X-Fly was a pretty big difference in that, pretty big difference in the E-Flight Hornet. Made a big difference in performance for me. I noticed a big difference. So anyway, yeah, or if you have a good battery, it doesn't matter. Okay, there's a Super Dingus. All right, Nate, there you
are. What's up, people?
So yeah, the X-Fly works for burst. I mean, it is hard on the battery for flying full throttles. Don't think it's going to be great, but it does give you lots of thrust if you have a battery that can handle it.
What's up, everybody?
So what's new and exciting on your end, Mr. Calgal?
I don't know. Nothing really. I mean, T30. I got a new. Hold on. Oh shit. I don't play with this on the phone that often. I got this new T33. That's and the that RV7. That's about it though. New plane racks were put up. All those little planes, those flight test planes on that, those aren't going to live on the racks. They're going to be living over there, but we're getting the house appraised, so having planes kind of stuffed in the corner didn't look so great. So, but that's about it.
Oh.
Yeah, I put lights on this T33. Did that tonight, just like my last one. That I don't know if you guys saw in the videos from a while ago. Then it, put the 2000 kV FMS in there. It's pretty badass with this fan though. I'm going out to the field after school tomorrow. Keon's actually back for the week, so we're gonna be out there.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, but I'm busy for the rest of the week, so I figured if I want to get some flying in, just go out for a few hours tomorrow. I'll get there probably around 4 and just fly till dark.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, this is the last week before daylight savings, so.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy's glider check ride is Wednesday, so was actually supposed to be last Wednesday, but then the examiner got things confused, so it didn't happen. So then he rescheduled it for this Wednesday, and I want to be out there to see it.
Cool.
So
Cool.
yeah.
So what else? Anybody else got anything else to say other than that? That's all I had planned for today, unless there's any more questions or anything you guys got. What's up, Rick and Roy? You missed the balancing act. But we got
Yeah, I was planning on coming in. I just figured I'd come say hi.
that's all good. I knew if you wanted to that you would have asked, and I wasn't going to say no. So
No, I figured I knew you were gonna balance. So I figured I just let him do his thing.
Yep. It wasn't that bad either. I got it done pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say.
Yep. So pretty much it for me, guys. If there's anything else anybody else has going on, let me know. But other than that, we're gonna get going because that's pretty much it. That's the show. So just need to know what you guys might want to see the next time around. So I'll put up just keep your eyes on YouTube because I'll put up a poll. See what you guys want to see. But oh, Nerf whistles. No, I haven't, but friends have. The ones that work the best from what I've noticed are in the intake stream. That's the best place to put them to keep it holding the thrust. Yes, you can put it behind, but that didn't sound good, Nate. But it's better to have it back behind. I mean, in front of the fan.
It's just my little soldering gun.
Oh,
just my little soldering gun that I did when I did the lights. I needed to add some wires, so it's just my little one that I use for little jobs.
oh.
And I've got a more powerful one. I need to buy the one you have for when I do batteries.
That thing's scary.
I know. Like when I use my soldering iron to solder batteries, I gotta sit there and hold it and let it do its thing. With yours, done.
Instant. It's done.
It's like when I do little wires with that thing, it's instant. You just tap it and it's good.
Yeah, I just got another soldering iron too. I got one that's USB powered, so I can try it at the field.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sharam has one of those little portable ones that he just soldered a Dean's plug to. I mean, it's only good for doing wires and stuff.
Like small stuff. I have that too, but I'm let me try some of the other stuff and see what.
Yeah, I can't wait to this.
So let me grab. I'll turn my camera on here in a second. I turned it off because Jewel was walking around in the back, and I have the lights on, which makes me look dead. Hold on a second. I'll check I'll grab that other soldering iron that I use. Hold on.
Yeah, I can't wait to get this T-33 out tomorrow. I've flown it twice here at my house, but I can only, when it comes to flying a jet here, I can only do so much. I can do a lot of vertical testing, but I don't have a lot of room to just let the thing unwind and build speed. So, and it's fast. I mean, it picked up. So this is what was in it: the 1920 kV 9-blade. I have so many of these laying around. This is a great stock setup, but every plane I have, I think the only plane in my fleet that still has a 9-blade stock is that A4, and because I haven't gotten around to doing it. But that one, I think we'll get the 2000.
So this is the crazy soldering iron that I've got. I got fat fingers. You can see how the tip of that thing's huge.
The tip is big.
Don't say that. Don't say that too fast or too loud. Anyway, this is a Weller. It's an 80 amp. It's got LEDs there, and then it's got this giganto tip here. And it's crazy. It's really good. So there you go. Elijah Jackson used a Weller station. Yeah. So this is just a gun by itself. You can change the tips, but this is the big one, and that thing works really good. I forget how much this was. It wasn't that expensive.
Exactly, Mickey.
The key was 80 amps. I wanted it to be And when you have the surface area like this, it keeps things from heating up too much in one spot. So yeah. Anyway,
The big tips do a lot of damage.
the big tippity top.
20,
Um,
$20.
they have micro torches too. Those work. But I prefer this because it heats up exactly what you need it to. And Nate's seen it in use. It's just like, and it's done.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. So I have to be very careful with it. I mean, you can see what it does to the solder. That's not rust. That's just what it's done to the solder. So it might be a little too hot for what it's doing, but it doesn't. I don't burn. The solder doesn't burn. Everything's good.
Yeah. I've got 9-blade 90s.
Yeah.
I've got them all. I've got so many 9-blades. I've got a 12-blade 1857, but it needs to be balanced. And I took the screw out of the spinner, and I lost it. But it's different than the 9-blade screw. It's
bigger. It's bigger.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, the A4 is the only one that's still stock. Well, the A6 is stock, but it's a 12-blade, and that A6 is going bye anyway. So
Where's it going?
Oh, it's going to Jack. We kind of negotiated.
Okay, cool.
Just because he wanted to get rid of the T33. I don't fly the A6. I'm like, no, you just swap them. He kind of regrets it though. He watched me fly it with the new fan, and he's like, "Oh,
ouch." Yeah, it's crap. It's falling off the hole.
I mean, I can't let it unwind at its full potential here. So
Right.
I know if I fly it here and it's like speeding up, I'm like, oh god, I can't wait till I can just do a hot lap.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
So yeah, I'm excited to try it tomorrow. And
It's gonna be like that scooter race in the BMW.
that was funny. Yeah, I think I'll probably just take the T33, the Hornet, and maybe even the PJ. I haven't flown the PJ in a little bit, so.
So somebody was asking about the PJ. I'm not gonna get it. Not for a while. Not unless somebody gives it to me. Because I have no way to carry that to the field regularly. So I saw the real one fly over today. The 650. But I don't plan on getting something that size.
I might just take these 3 tomorrow. Although Keon might bring his Viper, so I don't want to bring the 4 though. We'll see. We'll see what I do.
All right, y'all. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm gonna get going because it's already 8:55. We've been going almost 2 hours, which is not 8:55, but 8:51. My computer's fast, but I'm gonna get going. But
Daryl Penson, no. I use the stock 100 amp, but you have to extend the wires going to the fan because Freewing and FMS do everything opposite. So if you look at the Freewing motor wires, they're super long and the ESCs are short, but FMS does the opposite. So I actually have a Avian 100 amp ESC that I was actually going to put in it, but before I committed to gluing it in, because the little plate they give the screws aren't long enough, so I was just going to glue it in. The minimum BEC voltage in those ESCs is 6 volts.
mm-hmm.
And Freewing, and actually if you buy a Freewing plane now, there's a little yellow piece of paper on the manuals. The stock servos can only handle up to 5.5 volts. And I think people have been putting smart stuff in their Freewings and burning stuff up.
Yeah.
And so they made like an addendum now. So I was like, oh, wait. Because I plugged it all in to test it, and the servos sounded really high pitched, and the gear were like really high pitched. I was like, oh crap! Mm-hmm. I remembered.
You can't step it down either.
No, the minimum is 6 on the smart. It goes all the way up to like 9 or something. But I'm like, why can't you just go down 0.5 volts?
Yeah.
I only put the smart ESC in there just because I didn't have to do any soldering, but then I realized, like, crap! I don't want to.
So Elijah Jackson, Nate, you might have been there the year the F-18 did the laps at Reno. Remember when it did 1 lap? The F-18 did 1 lap.
It did kind of a lap. It didn't like it wasn't like at race course altitude, but it kind of went around.
But it went around, yeah.
But it wasn't like, he couldn't be at F-18 speed on the race course.
No, but it was doing over 600 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the coolest thing was when they were was the last day, and we were walking out, and all of a sudden the F4s over there took off. I think like they retired those airplanes like the next year. So
There were 2 of them, and those are the ones they blew up. They actually shot them out of the sky.
yeah, I'm just glad I got to see at least one of them fly.
Yep.
They took off and they did a rip and pass and went back to where they came from.
Yep. Pretty cool. All right, guys. That's it for me. We will come up with a plan for the next week and go from there. But thank you guys for hanging out with us, and hope I was able to help out with the fan balancage. And that's it. So see you guys later. And yeah,
Mickey.
yeah, Mickey B. That's
They have airplanes that go around that course at 500, but they're a lot lighter and
yeah.
turn a lot tighter at that speed. So
I think that
that
the plane that would be the best to do that course, it's a jet, would be an A10.
Oh yeah, no, the A10 could do it.
Yeah,
But
you'd have to get a running start, but I know it could do pretty good.
yeah, the A10 would do it.
Oh, that's right. You're right, Elijah. It did 3 laps, and they were over 600. But yeah, Scotty's story. Get a hold of me later too. I'll help you out. And so hopefully next time I talk to you guys, I'll have something cool to show you. So stay tuned for next week. And guys, have a good one. Adios.
See ya.